So if you're sat on the fence, wondering about whether to get a laser or not, this is the video for you. What's more, you stick around, I'll talk to you about how much it cost me, how long I think it's going to take to pay me back, and just how important it's become in my workshop. So this week's video started out as me trying to show how I'm upgrading one of my products. These artboards, one of the first products I made to sell. It's simply some pallet wood, plain down, stuck together, and some vinyl lettering on top that I've ordered in. And there's a problem with that. You've got to order the vinyl, you've got to pay for the vinyl, and you've got to wait for the vinyl. All adds up in your production costs and times. And whilst it looks alright, it never sits truly flat with the wood. It always looks like it's got a bit of room for improvement. So in my latest video, I looked to put that right. And it was during the course of this build that I realised this video's not so much about making another artboard. It was about how useful and dependent I'd become on my laser. Now let's be honest, the laser's not going to replace all the bits of woodworking that we all love, or even the bits that we hate. You've still got to prepare your wood, got to plane it, got to do everyone's favourite task of sanding it. You're still going to have to do your marking, measure once, cut twice. Don't ask me how I know that on this project. I'm 2 years in, I'm still measuring once and cutting twice. A laser's not going to help with the dust collection on your chop saw either, or help decision making on routers. Is it a chamfer? Is it a roundover? All these basic elements of woodworking will still be there with a laser. But where it excels is personalisation. Like this board, for example. I can easily put any child's name I want on that. It takes 2 minutes to change. And you still get to do everyone's favourite bit of adding the finish afterwards. Now, talking more universally with lasers, this is what I love about them. Creating little jigs so I can get feet equal all the time. And once you've done all those things, you can just crack on with finishing your project. You can hang it nicely just on a conveniently placed nail. You would have known that were there. Final finishing touches are just a couple of pegs. And luckily, just in time, we've got our first piece of artwork to go on it. Look at that. Hey up, he's a talented guy, isn't he? So when you come away from this appalling effort of a first take for this video, the product left behind, and that's down to no small part in the laser. So overall, it just shows how much a difference a laser makes and using some decent wood. I think this is 10 times better than this. And ultimately the costings have been the same. The lettering in vinyl was costing me £8 to £9 depending what it said. This piece of wood cost me £6. Nice piece of oak, looks so much better. So the thing that I like most with laser is simply versatility. You can make so many different things or customise so many different items. So for this week, for example, I'm making some farewell cards, some thank you cards, and some coasters to go with them. Everything can be personalised and you can make it however you want it to be. There's so many products that I'm making with this, from bottle openers, little cake boards, signs for stalls, Father's Day gifts, key rings, all types of coasters, wooden and slate, and the good old-fashioned serving board. Now, I promised you I'd tell you about how much this thing costs. So when we're talking figures, there's a couple of things that you need to know. First of all, these are my opinions. I'm not lucky enough to be sponsored by anybody. I've paid for everything out of my own money. So you'll get told how it is. Second of all, this thing ain't going to bring value, I'm going to tell you. And the third thing to know, when it comes to these bits of kit, just over my shoulder, I really am a basic user. So looking at cost then, the laser, the honeycomb spoil board, and a subscription to Lightburn, which is a really decent editing software, was around £400 or just under. So to put that into comparison, a mitre saw at the moment, like this one, retails at just over 300. A selection of new power tools coming in at about 350. Now I chose to use those tools for a couple of reasons. One is to show you that we spend this money in our workshop all the time. Buying something new is normal, as long as that tool progresses you further on. Now you wouldn't dream of sanding every project with a hand sander, because this is more. If this is going to save you 10 times the amount of sanding that is, then that's money well spent. And it's like that with the laser. You look at the cards and the coasters that I was making this week as a leaving gift. Once you've done the design work, it's as easy as just pressing go. You might have to change someone's name. That's 30 seconds. You press go. And whilst that's working, you can be on making another project. But what about actual money savings? As I've said, the vinyl for these boards are costing me somewhere £7, £8, £9 depending on what it exactly says. If you're able to print it yourself, instead of paying and outsourcing that job, you're saving money. The amount of stuff I've been able to sell because I've been able to personalise it. And I can personalise it myself, again, without outsourcing it. Again, you're saving money every time. So looking back in the 8 months I've had this, it's already paid for itself. Half through savings and half through the additional work it's managed to gain me so far. It's an investment you definitely won't regret. And as always guys, thanks for watching. If you've got something out of this, I hope you like and subscribe. Just tipped over the 800 mark. I'd love to keep that going. Until next time, enjoy it in the shop, and I'll see you on the next one.